With Barry Flatman of the Sunday Times, we want to know everything about Andy Murray and what is the reaction in the United Kingdom about this newcomer.
Well, he's not really a newcomer to the United Kingdom. They've been aware of him for 3 or 4 years now, but they've not been sure about him. They weren't sure whether they really liked him with the manner he adopted on court and his attitude and his lack of fitness at the beginning. Now they're sure. Now they're right behind him. Now he's proved that he's one of the world's top 4 tennis players, right up there with Federer, Nadal and Djokovic, and they're right behind him. For many years, we had Tim Henman, completely different sort of guy to Andy Murray. Greg Rosetsky, completely different guy to Andy Murray, and people still weren't really convinced he was British. But Andy Murray is feisty, he's a fighter, but he is also, they now see he's a very, very good tennis player.
What are the main difference also as a character between Tim Henman, Andy Murray, Greg Rosetsky?
Tim Henman, after his career finished, said that what he said publicly and what he thought privately were two different things. It's never been the case with Murray, but you know exactly what he's thinking. If he doesn't like you, he'll tell you he doesn't like you, and there's been a few occasions of that with the British press. He's maturing, he's growing up, he's not getting involved in silly little fights that he used to. A couple of years ago, Ubaldo, you probably remember, we were all in there in the interview room at the Australian Open when he lost first round. He blamed us, he blamed the press. Now he's admitted that was a mistake, and he's getting on with it, and he's got a good coaching team behind him now. Went through the Brad Gilbert episode, came out of it, obviously learnt a lot, but wasn't happy with it at the end. He's very happy with everything that's going on now. So he's Tim Henman was overachieved. Tim Henman admits he overachieved. Get to 4 in the world, all those Grand Slam finals. That was probably better than he should have done. Murray knows that he has all the weapons, all the necessities to go right to the very top of the game. Rival Nadal, Federer, Djokovic.
Would you say that Andy Murray, as you just said, to be honest, that he can become even number 1 in the world in the future? And people in England or in Great Britain, do they expect him to do so?
Well, to expect him to become number 1, that's a long shot. Britain hasn't had a world number 1 since Fred Perry in 1936. So to expect that is a long way, because there's so much respect obviously for Federer in Britain after all the years he won Wimbledon. There's so much respect for Nadal in what he did this year, and in what many people feel was the greatest ever Wimbledon final. But Murray is right up there, and he's threatening, and he's got a very good chance.
What do you think is the weakness of Murray nowadays?
I don't see a weakness. The only technically, second serve needs a bit of working on, and he overplays a drop shot. They're the only 2 weaknesses.
Yeah, of course, but on clay is very effective, no?
Yeah, but he, every coach that's coached him has said, the drop shot is an effective tactic, but don't overdo it. And he admits he loves doing it, and he's learning, and he's got, he's got to use it at the right time, and he's got to beef up his second serve.
Thanks a lot to Barry Flatman of the Sunday Times, one of the most expert in tennis in the world.
Thank you very much, Ubaldo.